This is not your ordinary run-of-the-mill recession. We are going through the worst economic crisis since the Great Depression. We've lost now 3.6 million jobs, but what's perhaps even more disturbing is that almost half of that job loss has taken place over the last 3 months, which means that the problems are accelerating instead of getting better. The only measure of my success as president, when people look back 5 years from now or 9 years from now, is going to be, did I get this economy fixed? We are experiencing a unprecedented, perhaps, economic crisis. Don't let people fool you with this notion that somehow the reason for our deficit has to do with, for example, the Recovery Act. The Recovery Act was designed to make sure that local school districts didn't lay off teachers and firefighters and police officers, and it's done its job.
That's a fucking lie.
Yes, ma'am.
Robert, just to follow on what Dan was saying earlier, yesterday the president at that health care forum said that the stimulus has done its job. Are we to take that as an indication that the president thinks the stimulus is working?
The stimulus is working.
That's a fucking lie.
And so the truth is there was a misreading of just how bad an economy we inherited. Now, that does, I'm not laying this on, but it's now our responsibility. So the second question becomes, did the economic package we put in place, including the Recovery Act, is it the right package given the circumstances we're in? And we believe it is the right package given the circumstances we're in. We misread how bad the economy was, but we are now only about 120 days into the recovery package. The truth of the matter was no one anticipated, no one expected that that recovery package would in fact be in a position at this point of having distributed the bulk of money.
No, but a lot of people were saying that you needed to do something bigger and bolder than, including the economist Paul Krugman. And he's saying right now, he's saying the same thing again. Don't wait. You need a second stimulus. You need it now.
Look, what we have to do now is we have to properly, adequately, transparently, and effectively spend out this $780.
That's your job. You're in charge of it.
That is my job, and I think we're doing it well.
That's a fucking lie.
The heat is on for the Obama administration, and with a list of to-dos growing by the day, his poll numbers are going down. In fact, a new CBS News poll shows Mr. Obama's approval rating has dropped 6 points in the last month to 57%. Well, approval for his handling of the economy is also down a lot, down to 48%. CBS News chief Washington correspondent and host of Face the Nation, Bob Schieffer, joins us for some analysis. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, Harry.
Can we blame this all on the economy?
I think so. I think it's the economy and the economy and the economy. I mean, one of the most interesting numbers in this poll, Harry, to me was that nearly 7 out of 10 people have some concern about losing their jobs. Now, when you have that kind of a number there, when that many people are uncertain about whether they're going to lose their job, there's no way that the president's approval rating is going to stay very high. It's still well over 50%. He's a long way from being unpopular. But he's done the stimulus package. He's embarked on all these different programs to improve the economy, but so far, apparently, most people do not see the impact on that. They do not think it's affecting their lives, and I think that's what this is and nothing more.
Do you think they got it wrong? Vice President Joe Biden in an interview said, well, we miscalculated how bad the economy was going to be. There's an op-ed piece by Mort Zuckerman in the the Wall Street Journal this morning saying the economy is much worse than people actually realize. Did these guys, is it too early to say maybe, or is it possible that this administration just didn't get this right?
You know, I kind of agree with Joe Biden in this sense. I think the economy was worse than they said it was, but maybe they didn't want to say how bad that it really was. Maybe that's the question here. But I mean, you know, you can go around and talk about words and all of that, but when you come down to it, the economy is in terrible shape. It was in terrible shape. We've gotten the credit markets back a little better than what they were, but just as far as the impact on people's personal lives, they're not seeing any improvement yet. What Barack Obama's got to see here, he's launched all these programs, but people need to see that they're having some impact.
Right, and very, very quickly, will this worsening economy make it harder for the president to especially get health care through? He said yesterday when he's nominating a Surgeon General, don't count us out, don't bet against us. But won't this just make that much harder?
I think it will, and I think it's pretty well the consensus around Washington now. He's not going to get this done by the August recess, which was sort of the deadline they'd set. But I think health care is in big trouble right now. It's an open question as whether he's going to get anything.
Bob Schieffer, it's always great to see you. Thanks, sir.